Let me speak to you like I would to someone I deeply care about, like a brother, the version of you sitting there, staring at your phone, stuck in that quiet battle between pride and hope. You tell yourself you just want to check in, maybe send one last message, see if she still thinks about you, see if there's a sliver of something left. But that message you're about to send, it's not just a few casual words, it's a piece of your self-worth. And pressing send doesn't bring peace. It chips away at your dignity. You think it's courage, that it's brave to reach out again, but what you're really doing is placing your value back into hands that already let it slip through. That's not strength, that's surrender. If she ghosted you, rejected you, faded without explanation, then here's your first truth. Don't text her again, not to punish her, but to finally start healing you. She knows how you feel. That's why she faded. This isn't some romantic mystery. It's cold, uncomfortable clarity. Hers, not yours. She's not sitting there confused about your intentions. You made it clear. You showed up. You loved out loud. You gave effort. You tried. And despite all of that, she walked away. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a decision. And that's the wound you've got to stop covering with false hope. Because when someone wants you, truly wants you, they don't pull away. They don't leave you guessing. They don't stretch the silence into torture or feed you crumbs of attention just to keep you on the hook. So stop pretending this next text will change the story. Every message you send now doesn't express love, it expresses denial. Denial that the person who knew you still chose distance, and that pain, the pain of being seen and still not chosen, that's where your power begins. Because real power isn't about being picked. It's about picking yourself when someone else won't. You think that one last message is a door, but it's a wall. You think it's courage, but it's fear in disguise. Fear of silence, fear of what it confirms if she doesn't respond. But brother, maybe the version of you that needs her reply so badly needs to die, because that version is the one who kept your dignity tied to her attention. Growth doesn't happen when she texts back. Growth happens when you stop hoping she will, when you sit in the silence and resist the urge to fill it, when you feel the ache and choose not to numb it with another reach out. Every time you show up in her notifications without an invitation, you show her your time is cheap. Think about that. Every like, every story view, every just checking in says, you still have access to me, no matter what you do. That's not love, that's emotional poverty. Your presence should be a privilege, not a convenience, and right now, she doesn't value it, so stop giving it away. If she doesn't miss you, it's not because you're forgettable, it's because you never really left. You're still there, in her views, in her inbox, in that quiet digital space where she knows he's still around, still hoping. But when you finally go quiet, fully quiet, no texts, no likes, no reaction to her world, that's when she feels it. Not the loss of someone who begged, the absence of a man who finally remembered his worth, and that silence. It says more than 100 desperate messages ever could. There's a kind of dignity that screams through silence. If she ever cared, even a little, that silence will shake her. Not because you punished her, but because you protected yourself. You're not going quiet to play games. You're going quiet because you finally understand your peace is priceless, because your energy is currency, and you've been investing it into someone giving no return. It's time to stop making bad trades. Start honoring your value. Start protecting your mind, your time, your soul. Let her feel the absence of your presence, not as revenge, but as reality. And if she ever comes back, let her find a man she no longer recognizes. Not because you changed to get her attention, but because you finally started growing without it. A man of worth doesn't chase validation. He doesn't argue for love. He doesn't beg for belonging. He builds his own table and only invites those who value the seat. You don't have to prove your value to someone who overlooked it. You leave and let the silence teach them what your presence once provided. No ego, no bitterness, just truth. This isn't about winning her back. This is about finally coming back to yourself. Let her feel what it's like to miss the man who always showed up. And let yourself feel what it's like to finally stop trying to be enough for someone who never chose to see it. You don't need another reply. You don't need closure. You don't need her to confirm that you mattered. You already did. She just didn't value it. That's not on you. But what you do now, that is. So never text her again. Not to be cold, not to be cruel, to be whole. Let your silence say what words never could. Let your absence echo louder than your presence ever did. And if she ever realizes what she lost, she won't hear from you. She'll feel it. She'll feel the difference between the boy who waited and the man who finally walked away. Now, before you let this moment pass, hear me out, because this silence you're embracing, this step back from the noise and the constant reach, it's far more than just absence. It's a declaration, a quiet revolution in your soul. It's the moment you stop allowing your worth to be measured by someone else's attention. It's the moment you reclaim the story of your life and the narrative of your heart. This silence is the space where real healing begins. It's the ground where your dignity, bruised and battered by waiting and hoping, starts to mend. It's the soil where the seeds of your future strength are planted, stronger, wiser, unshaken by rejection or absence. This silence is not a surrender, it's a profound act of courage. The courage to let go of what doesn't serve you and to protect what remains sacred. Your peace, your self-respect, your time. You may feel a void in the quiet. That's the old version of you struggling to hold on, the version desperate for validation, desperate to be seen and wanted. But that version must dissolve. It must die so you can be reborn as someone who doesn't beg for crumbs or settle for leftovers of affection. Someone who commands their own value and never apologizes for it. And understand this, freedom doesn't come from forcing someone to see your worth. It comes from stepping away with grace, with clarity, with unshakable belief in the man you are becoming. It comes from walking away, not with bitterness or anger, but with the calm certainty that you are enough, even alone. The truth is, when you disappear, when you stop chasing and start living for yourself, you create a space that no one else can fill. That space becomes a mirror, reflecting your strength back at you. And if she ever feels that emptiness, that's her moment of reckoning, not yours. You owe no explanations. You owe no apologies. You owe yourself everything. Your silence is your fortress. Your absence is your message. It speaks louder than any words ever could. So carry this truth with you like armor. Walk forward knowing that the man who finally lets go is the man who truly wins, not because he forced love or begged for attention, but because he chose himself.